And so learning from like the Montessori approach to learning from others who are your peers, talk to us about why that worked so well and kind of why we leaned into that and who'd you lean into for those sessions?
Yeah, I think we started this a few years ago, this concept, and we've done it over many, many years in different ways. I think back to Orange Crush, and I think about when we started to have conversations with our experts at the time, and we added it to Sleep Summit. And so we've created these peer panels, and in the peer panels, you are going to hear from people just like you, memory makers who may work in another state. They may work in another store, a big store, a little store. They may have worked here 2 months. They may have worked here 2 years. And so Stacy really helped to curate that list. And what you see in those panels is they're sharing real life experience. You first hear from your partners and you may hear from a synchrony. And then you go and you move to this peer panel. And to hear people like Holly White, or Troy Walker share their stories and their examples. There's so much power in that. And again, from their own viewpoint, here's what I do in the store. Here's what works with my guests. Here's how I teach it back. And so to sit through several of those sessions on my own and just go through them and hear from them, there's things you can pick up from each one. And the more we've done a peer panel over the past few years, and the first time here at VIP Summit on VIP, that receives rave reviews. We continue to hear from our memory makers, and they stopped us in the hallway in Fort Mill several times and just said, hey, I want to tell you that I learned so much today from Mitch, or hey, I learned so much today from Stephanie. And so it was great for us to hear that and see it come to life, that every single one of those VIP successful memory makers, people earning that jackpot bonus, to hear from them really just carries a lot of wisdom and a lot of power for all our memory makers to take something away.
Yeah, it's interesting finding a nugget of a best practice, like during the Orange Crush tours, which is the experts panel, or at the Sleep Summit, it was just one panel. It wasn't the entire content because a lot of the vendors were teaching it out. And then 828, where it was led by those who taught those 6 sessions, were other than the 2 keynotes, right? And so in this one, it was an infusion of our own people plus vendors partnering together to kind of do Q&A, to do best practice sharing. All right, so let's talk about the 6 sessions. These were carefully curated 6 sessions that we thought, from our users, from our people, like the content they needed or wanted to hear the most to move the business forward, to go win this year in pursuit of our goals, and also to blend in our partners. So Emelyne, can you take us through what the 6 sessions were?
Yeah, of course. So all of the 6 sessions fit into our theme, which is really unlocking your success and unlocking the power of VIP. And so through the 6 sessions, one of them was unlock buying power. So really talking through how do we get more applications through pre-qualification. And that was with Versatile. So they walked our memory makers through that. We talked about unlocking bigger tickets and the power of 60 months interest-free with Synchrony. We did unlock open lines of credit and maximizing the approval, also with Synchrony. So Synchrony did 2 sessions for us. We did unlocking secondary or near prime credit opportunity, and that was with Fortiva. We had unlock purchase power for the credit challenge, and that was with our tertiary lenders. Qualify and Progressive joined us as well. And our 6th session was unlock the power of repeat purchases, and that one was actually led by Dana Mallory, who is our district manager for the Savage South, and she really walked us through one of our newer systems of Podium, so how to use that to communicate with your guests and get them to come back into our stores and continue to connect with us. And so on all of those wonderful sessions, we also had our peer panels, which Heather shouted out a few of them a moment ago. So each one was combined collaboration of our partners and excellent HFCs in the store to really make it a meaningful session.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. To watch this episode, go to youtube.com/@storiesfromtheriver. Join us again next week And remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.